everyone, it's John from What Up, and welcome back to another video. Now, earlier today on my Instagram and my Twitter feed, I teased a few fairly big Wheel of Time show leaks that we're going to talk about in tonight's video. So if you don't follow me on my social media, the links are down below if you'd like to do that. Now, we are going to dive into the leaks, but we'll do that after we talk just a bit about some news that Takaran Ryoid and Want Series released earlier this week, I think a couple of days ago. Now, if you're new to the channel and you don't know what we do here, we cover Wheel of Time show news, so anything and everything to do with the Wheel of Time show, that's what we talk about. Whether it be official, rumors, or leaks, we have it all. Now, if you like any sort of Wheel of Time content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to not miss our videos. And if you like what I do here, click the like button as well, because for some reason, YouTube likes to promote videos with a ton of likes, so make sure you're doing that for me as well. Now, before we get into the video, we're going to give a slight spoiler warning here. So, spoiler warning, in this video, we're talking about leaks that have to impact the end of the second season of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show. So if you haven't read at least the first 3 books of Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series, that's The Eye of the World, The Great Hunt, and The Dragon Reborn, be forewarned, I'm going to ruin minor plot points and character arcs from all 3 of those books, including the endings. And I'm probably, if I am right about some of my speculation, ruin parts of Season 2 of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show as well. You've been warned. All right, let's get on to the rest of the video. Before we dive into those big leaks, we're going to talk just a bit about some news that Joe from Takaran Ryoid broke earlier this week. Geeky Area retweeted it on Twitter, and a bunch of other people have been talking about it. Now, they're not done shooting Season 2 just yet. We know they're shooting it in Ouarzazate, as well as Marrakesh and a few other places in Morocco, but this one was a new location. Now, and I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong, Esoria is going to be another filming location for the ending of Season 2 of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show, and they're going to be filming at the Scala Medina. Now, they're prepping right now, and they're going to be shooting from April 11th to the 30th. Now, Geeky Area attached this picture. It's an old picture of the area, so it doesn't currently show what it looks like right now, like immediately. So this isn't the filming set or anything like that. This isn't them prepping for it. But this ties into a couple of the leaks that I want to talk about this evening. This looks a whole lot like maybe a fortress, some palisades and stuff. And let's face it, there's a lot of speculation where they're going with Season 2 of Sony and Amazon's show. So we don't know exactly what's happening. Now, we're pretty sure, we're almost 100% sure they're shooting at Falme. In fact, the leaks that I'm going to talk about this evening pretty much 100% confirm that. But we don't know if they're including the Stone of Tyr and Kalendor, or what Yoshitsuru storyline is going to be, whether or not he's going to be in Falme or there, or how they're going to mix the two of them together. Now, we do know that Rafe Judkins had mentioned a number of times that he's looking at about 8 seasons of the show, so there's going to be a whole lot of cutting and amalgamation. They're going to have to do more than 1 book per season. We know the first season of the show centered mainly around the events of the Eye of the World, even though there were some major changes, but they did pull in some elements from book 2 and 3 by setting up the White Tower and other places around the world. So they're trying to world build a whole lot in the first season as well. I think as the seasons go on, we're going to see less world building and more actual storyline. Now, this is a really neat area, and this, like I said, ties into the leaks that we're talking about. All right, so now, without further ado, we're going to talk just a bit about those leaks. So last little warning to you folks, if you don't want anything spoiled for Season 2, if you don't want to hear about the leaks, now's the time to dip out, although I'm pretty sure most of you have clicked on the video for this. So before we actually get into talking about the leaks, I want to stress the fact that I can't show them. I can't actually share the set photos and videos that were given to me for a couple of different reasons. The main one is I don't want to get in any trouble. Anyone who has to share closed set videos from Amazon or Sony's production generally either gets a copyright strike, a copyright claim, or they get taken down. So we see that with a number of other YouTube channels. There's been full channels taken down for sharing closed set pictures. There's been Instagram and Twitter accounts both taken down for sharing closed set pictures. It's because the pictures are Sony and Amazon's property, it's their IP, and they don't want any infringement upon that. So I can't show them to you folks. Doesn't mean I can't talk about them though, because we can talk about them as much as we want because we're not actually infringing anyone's copyright of them. So, do you remember this photo here? This was taken by a local in Morocco in Ouarzazate at Atlas Studios. This was a couple of weeks ago. It was shared with me from a local. So there's a bunch of other pictures they took of the outside of the studios. This is where they're filming parts of episodes 7 and 8 of Season 2. Now, we're going to talk about a couple of different things. Essentially, the pictures I was shown or shared with me showcase Seanchan soldiers as well as Whitecloaks, and then I have 2 set videos as well, and they both feature Whitecloaks and Seanchan soldiers. Now, that's a tongue twister, Seanchan soldiers. I'm going to say it wrong at some point or another. But essentially, they all appear to happen in this particular area. At least the background, the ground, everything looks the same, and the set as far as I can tell, looks almost identical to the one in the videos and the pictures that were shared with me. Now, we have a couple of different things going on in these pictures. So, like I said a few weeks ago, we have flags that sort of look like this. And when I say sorta, it's kind of sorta. It's hard to tell from the videos and the pictures. They didn't take a really high-def up-close picture of the flags and banners, and you can't really zoom in or enhance too much in the videos, but there appears to be a green or a blue background, or both, or green or blue tents, or both, with flags that have this on it. Now, I can't say for sure it's this particular emblem from the Wheel of Time book series, but it's pretty close. So it looks like a tree, but the top three bumps are more defined. So the bump on the top and the bumps on the sides are more defined, and the roots underneath look more like lightning bolts than anything else. So either this is their particular artist's rendition of this flag, which is a Terrabin flag, or it's something completely different, because if we showcase this side by side with Hawkwing's symbol, it sort of almost kind of looks like a cross between this and the hawk with lightning bolts coming out the bottom. Now, Hawkwing's symbol has 6 lightning bolts, not 3, but maybe they're taking some artistic liberties with it. It's hard to tell without getting a really good photo of it. Either way, the banners and the tents and the backgrounds showcase a symbol that's similar to this. Now, what are we seeing in the particular videos? Well, like I said before, we're seeing Whitecloaks and we're seeing Seanchan. So this pretty much confirms to me that we're at Falme, mainly because if that flag is shown at Falme, which makes sense for that area, and we know that they're adapting parts of the Great Hunt, we're probably going to see a battle between Whitecloaks and Seanchan in that area. Now, we're going to talk about the two videos. The first video showcases, and I'm going to have to go back here, this particular area outside going up to the gates, and it shows 11 Whitecloaks on horseback in full armor, so they have the full white armor, full white cloaks streaming out behind them, and they're all galloping really hard and fast towards the gates. Really neat looking video, but that's pretty much all it shows. The second video showcases the same Whitecloaks. I believe it's the same Whitecloaks. It's really hard to tell if it's the same people or not. But in this video, it starts after they've already galloped through the gate into a courtyard, and you only see 8 of them. And you know they're Whitecloaks because one of them is carrying a shield with a sunburst on it, and the horses all have the same sort of sunbursty type helmet on them. As they're galloping in, there's a Seanchan soldier in front of them, kind of running away. Now, the armor on the Seanchan shoulder looks pretty neat, but I don't know if it's meant to be full-on actual armor, like metal armor, or if it's going to be leather. I don't know how they're going to play that out. Now, the helmet itself looks a little bit like the helmets we've already seen, sort of a burnished bronze with the 2 eye holes and the big metal grill for the mouth, sort of bug-like, but the armor itself is brown and green. And it moved sort of, I guess the best way to put it is it flopped a little bit, like it was leather, or if it wasn't meant to be super stiff, like a metal armor. Underneath the armor is either a red coat or cloak that kind of flares out underneath around their legs, and it's flapping as the soldier's running away, and it looks like they're wearing a sword on their hip, and the sword has a black scabbard, and they're kind of running in front of the Whitecloaks as they stream in through the gates. And in behind them, there's flags up on the wall that sort of look like this. And I say sort of because it's not exactly the same. It's got a green background, 3 big bumps in the top, some what looks to be lightning bolts, perhaps roots in the bottom. Either way, this is pretty much the closest thing I could find. Now, what does this tell us? Well, it tells us that we're probably going to get the big battle at Falme because we have Whitecloaks showing up, but maybe, just maybe, it's not going to be exactly the same. So we do know that there are challenges with having a ton of people on set for big fight scenes and army scenes, like big armies and whatnot. So a couple of things could happen here. We could either have those 11 Whitecloaks and they're streaming in, and it's just those guys. They're just the 11 Whitecloaks, and they come into the courtyard and then they do something, or it's entirely possible that they're going to use some VFX magic or CG and add other ones in the background, make it look like more of a big army. I don't really know what they're going for there, what they're doing. Either way, they're entering the town or the village. Now, again, I've speculated before this is probably Falme. It's a guess on my part. I don't really know 100%, but with those flags, and there's also some tents there that look sort of the same way, and the Whitecloaks showing up in the Seanchan soldier in his armor kind of running away in front of them, I would guess it's probably Falme. Now, what does that mean for the end of Season 2? Well, it means that we're probably going to see at least somewhat of an adaptation of the end of the Great Hunt. Now, you got to remember, The Seanchan came in, they took Falme, they held the city, and then we had Rand and Ishamael kind of fighting in the sky, and every time Rand attacked, the Whitecloaks down below would attack the Seanchan armies and kind of drive them back towards the sea, and every time Ishamael attacked, the Seanchan would, you know, kind of push the Whitecloaks back. Ended up almost decimating all of the Whitecloaks, with the exception of maybe just a couple here and there, and the Seanchan were driven back into the sea and away. So are we going to see that? Are we going to see the big fight in the sky? I don't know if they're going to do something like that. It might look a little cheesy on the screen, although I know a lot of people, including myself, will be pretty happy to see it, even if it does look cheesy. Or we're going to see something a little bit different. Now, we do know there are some massive changes from the source material, The Eye of the World, to Season 1, and I've been told in confidence that there's going to be even more changes for Season 2. So we're going to see some other big changes for Season 2, perhaps even more than we see in Season 1. They're still going to follow the general flow and heart of the story, but we're going to see some major shifts in certain things and how they're happening. And of course, we can already pretty much guess that because Rafe Judkins has said that we're going to see more Aiel earlier than we would in the book series. So your guess is as good as mine. Let me know what you folks think. Do you think we're going to see a massive Whitecloak army, or do you think we're going to see a small expeditionary force of the 11 Whitecloaks that I've seen in the video, or something completely different? I want to hear your take on this. Now, again, like I said earlier, I can't really showcase them, and I apologize. I've had a bunch of people message me looking for set videos and set pictures I've had, asking me to post them on my Patreon, asking me to post them in my Discord. I can't, and I won't do that, but I can talk about them. So the best I can do is talk about them here. If some of you are really, really, really good artists, and you can draw or sketch them up really quick, perhaps privately we can work something out where you can give me a rendition as I describe it, but that's the best I can do. Either way, let me know your thoughts down below and how you expect Season 2 to end. I know I'm pretty excited to see it, even if it is a year or more out. Thank you so much for sticking with me here to the very end. Here's to many more.